It is. Hello. Look at this. I'm looking a bit. Starting to look a bit shaggy here. I apologise. I was going to wear a hat, but it's starting to grow. Look, you see these tufty bits. They're sticking out here. So excuse the old hairdo. It's growing. It's getting there, but we do what we can. I've still got some, which is a good thing. Welcome to Wednesday's live stream, live guitar class. It is normally lesson from the book, but today it's a completely fresh topic that I wanted to bring to you. I've been meaning to pull this one up before, but I was thinking about it, and I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to build this from zero. I'm going to build it from ground floor up this lesson today, and I'm going to talk about the topic for today's lesson, which is cadential chord changes. I like the alliteration there with the C's. So it's not from the book, is this lesson. It's not from the book. This is another one, but hopefully you're going to find this very useful, because when you're learning, you might be thinking to yourself, okay, right, well, which chords do I learn first? And I always think to myself, well, if we think about cadences, cadences basically, the word cadence means to fall. Yeah, so if it's 4th of July coming up and you have a barbecue and you have far too many beers and you cadence down the stairs, it means you're falling down the stairs. Probably not a good idea to do that. But so what I'm saying is that cadences, this is what we're going to do. It's how one chord moves to another chord. You can always be thinking about this. Is like you've got one thing, event happens, and then another event happens, and that's what we're looking at today, guys. So that's what we're going to do. I should mention Mrs. Ricky isn't here. She's taking Miss Ricky to Girl Guides again. She goes there on a Wednesday, but she's not going to be back either. So I'm flying solo today, guys. So I might, because that's the case, I've got a lot of stuff in front of me, so I'm going to slow things right down. And some people might prefer that slowed downness. What will happen is, as you know, with this, that I have been doing with these lives lately, is I've been condensing them down to Waffle free. You can watch the lives on replay if you like the Waffle, but if you like the Waffle free version, then you have to wait for a Saturday upload, and I'll upload it there. Okay. I don't know how many notes I'm going to generate today. I've got an outline of what I want to talk about. So I imagine there will be lots of notes for people in PDF Club. Now, if you don't know what PDF Club is, then you want to check out what PDF Club is. That's down there is PDF Club. Yeah, so you can figure it out what that is. And actually, if you're on the emailing list, then you will be getting some emails imminently. Mrs. Ricky's gave me some notes, but do you know what? I've lost them already, haven't I? I think I've lost them all. I have lost them already. She gave me some notes with some codes and stuff like that. But if you're in the Fretboard fraternity, just give us a shout in there, and I'll get her to post some stuff in there, and I'll put some and maybe put some comments in here. Yeah, there's only 31 likes here, guys. Come on, there's 97 of yous on here. Let's get these likes walloped. So PDF Club, we're going to put an offer out for that. So that's PDF Club. If you don't know what PDF Club is, then that's the way that you're going to learn about it. And like I say, any notes that I generate from today, they will be going in PDF Club. If you just want to, be up to date with everything, what's going on, just join the Fretboard fraternity, or even, if you're part of the Fretboard fraternity, you probably get an email or two just to remind you when lessons are happening and all that sort of stuff. So really, it's just a great place to be. Come and join us. And then if I know, like I say, I do stuff from the book, and last week's lesson was from the book, and this is the book, the good book, with like 80 lessons and all my scrolling over it. And that's the thing. Get some pencil on your book and draw, like little things in your in there, just to your notes. You got to take notes, guys. So that's what's going on there. And if you did want to have a look at the book, then it's there. I don't know if she's doing it, if she's put a coupon code for that. But I'll put all that stuff up later on once the live stream has ended, or she may even be back. We might still be going, guys. Strap yourself in. This is probably going to be a long one. But the thing with this is that like I say, what this is all really about is about managing your chord changes. Yeah, managing your chord changes. That's what we're looking at. And oh, Cody Lamar says, how do you join PDF Club? Let me just see. Let me just get a link. I'm going to paste the link in there. Will this go in here? Will it? Oh, boom. Will that go there? Oh, yes, we are. We've got that there. So what you do is you go there. That's where you go. You go to that there. I think actually there's a link in this video. If you look in the description of this video, unless you're watching on TV. I know some of you guys like to watch on TV. Is that better? I don't know. What are you watching on? Are you watching on a phone? Are you watching on a laptop, an iPad? Or are you watching on TV? Some people, look at that. You see it's sticking up a bit there. Oh, that's the bit. Hang on, that's the one. Just annoying me that. You know, it's that awkward stage. I'm starting to get into the awkward stage of growing my hair. It's awful. So, yeah, so that's what we're going to do today. So I'm going to plot this all out. And the idea, like I say, is to give you an idea about tension and release. When you move from one chord to another chord, that's what's going on, guys. We're creating tension and we're creating a release. And that's what music's about. You think about it. You think about a movie for that matter. You know, it's like you've got the preamble, the exposition, the plot of the movie, and then you have some tension with the climax, and then you have a release at the end, you see. So, you know, that's the one. So that's what we're kind of looking at today. And, you know, no film, and I think about this, and I do think about this a lot, and it's like, if you think about it, yeah, can you think of anything and take the music away? If you imagine, like, Star Wars, I'm going to commit sacrilege here. Yeah, I'm not a Star Wars fan. Yeah, I just think it's a bit cheesy, but I'm not a fan. But if you took the music away, yeah, it would be... The music's the best thing for me about Star Wars, yeah. If you took the music away, it wouldn't make much sense, yeah, if you took the music away. And if you went to see ballerinas and stuff like that, you know, dancing around, without the music, it won't make any sense. So the thing is, it's like it all comes from music. This is what I'm saying, the importance of music. That's what I'm saying about this. People are going to go, Star Wars? You don't like Star Wars? I don't like Star Wars, and I'm not keen on Lego either. So, yeah, I think that comes from when my lad had some, and I trod on a piece of Lego. Have you ever had a piece of Lego under your foot and you roll on it barefoot? Ooh. Or I have landed on a UK plug once with a bare foot. Ooh, silent pin. So that's what I'm saying. So. Yeah, plugs. I don't mind plugs. They're just like, if they're on the floor, I've got to be very careful and mindful of that. So, that's what we're going to do today, guys. What I'm going to do as well is I'm going to put this on here. I'm going to put the Waffle countdown on here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go through the roll call. I'm going to start the roll call. Because, like I say, I think this might be a long one. We'll see where it takes me, because I've got a few pieces lined up. I don't know how I'm going to teach this. I'm just going to wing it. So I like that. I really like winging it because it's like I can put other bits in there. So there will be nuggets, guys. There will be nuggets. There will be things. There will be tangents. We haven't had any tangents for a while. Or is it just everything is tangented? If that's even a word. So there we go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the roll call. Then what we're going to do is we're going to learn about chords and cadences. I'm going to show you some chords on the guitar, how we change them and why they're important. And then hopefully when it comes to practicing, you'll go, these changes are what I need to practice. Yeah, 2 chords. Yes, I call them 2 chord loops. Yes, so let's look in the chat. We've got Dem Ravens in the chat there. Oh, I've just turned something off there. What have I turned off? I haven't turned yourselves off, have I? Okay, I've just lost something on my screen there. Let me just have another. Oh, that's widened that up. We don't want that. See, this is what happens when Mrs. Ricky isn't here. It all goes to pot. And let me have a look. What have I lost? That's the one I've lost. There we go. It was my... Oh, and I nearly lost you guys there. I've got it. I'm back. So, Deb Ravens, Eyup one and all. Ken Guthrow. Hello, everyone. Eyup Ricky and Mrs. Ricky from Newmarket, Ontario. Malcolm 1. Hi all. In the room, guitar, book, pencil, paper, and tea already. Oh, look at this. Before she went, Miss Ricky, she must be feeling bad. She made me a cup of tea. I'm halfway through it. Eyup, Yorkshire tea. It's quite a strong one, is that one as well. So, there we go. Winston, Eyup, everyone from North Dallas. Christopher Campagna, hello everyone. Greetings from Holland. Roger Smith, hello everyone. Analog Kid is in the chat. Jerry Lindy's in the chat. Patrick is in the chat, joining in from Menorca on holiday, no guitar. Well, the beautiful thing is this is mostly going to be music theory. So we're going to be good. We're good to go. Jason, we've got Thunder Ace, my OG. There we go, in the chat there. Jason Somerville, up from a sweltering Southampton tonight. It's ramping back up again, isn't it? It was fine earlier on. Vicky DeMeo in Lexington. I missed you last week. My sister was visiting from Florida. You've got the catch up. You've always got the catch up. Shauna TV is here. Shauna's in the chat. Hello, how are you doing? Happy 4th of July weekend to the USA people. Yes, the Boston Tea Party. I mean, it's like, if it had been the Yorkshire Tea Party, I might have felt a little bit more invested. But because it was Boston, I don't know. I don't know enough about it. I think that's probably what it is. Create, love, happy. It was tax on tea, wasn't it? You know, now look at where that got us. Really, look at where we're all at. It's like we're tax on everything. Tax on your breath. There you go. But with some more like mashed, yeah, get that like button mashed. Phil James says, Eyup, may I wish Ricky Kuski Kerry and Miss Ricky a very good evening. I hope that us FretHeads have a great lesson tonight. I hope so. Malcolm says, yes, the old pen, pencil and paper, definitely. Frank Gledden is in Maryland. Davy Boy, should I watch the championship? Should I catch up with my chores? Oh, bother, it's Ricky time. Yeah, well, this will be a long one, so just gird your loins for that. It depends who's on as well, I would say. My beloved Man City have fallen out there. They're out of the club championship there, but Club World Cup. So there you go. Oh, the championships, is that the snooker, the tennis? I don't know. It might be. I don't know. I just think football. So Stuart Smith, hi all. We've got Vicky DeMeo. Oh, we've said it. I thought I'd said hello to Vicky. There you go. We also have Phil Osborne in County Durham, England. And remember, if it's your first time, let me know and I'll give you a round of applause and a thank you for coming along today. Robin Tate, ready and waiting for another lesson. Scuba Trooper Chris Huston is seated in North Carolina. Lem Biggs, Lem here in Texas. That's what we want. Harry Groker in Wolves. We've got Stevie Pinhead, hi all, from warm but overcast Seattle. It's just like I should have like a kind of a green screen behind me with like all these locations. It would be interesting. Just do a global weather report. It might be fun. Gent, what's up, everybody? FretHead blokes from Oregon, as usual. Thomas Ross in Smithers, BC. Annex in the chat. Papa Doc is in the chat. Greetings and salutations from New Orleans. Gumby scores. Hey up, everyone from the West Coast, Canada. True, Sean Armour. Good afternoon, all. Good afternoon, Sean. Good to have you here. Cody Lamar. Hello everyone, love you Ricky and all of you, greetings from Arkansas. Yeah, oh thank you Cody, appreciate it, love you too, much love back to you. Chimp number 1, hello there everyone. Chimp number 1 is in the house, looking forward to another essential lesson. This is an essential lesson, I would say. Mark Carter is hello from Mountain Brook, Alabama. Jerry Moffat is in North Texas. We've got ATX Viking, howdy from Austin. Feels like another off-book lesson today, but I am stoked about it. It is another off-the-book lesson, indeed. The thing to think about with this is like the more off-book lessons I make, the sooner we are to another book. Okay, so that's one way to think about it. I did ask you guys all about the book. Especially the PDF club folks. I asked them about putting PDF club in hard copy in a load of books, but generally everybody says it would be good if you organised it by topic, and I started looking at that and I thought to myself, do you know what, I just need to write books by topic, and that's probably what I'm going to do. Anyhow, so who else have we got? We've got Rocket67 on his sofa in hot southern Germany. We've got Mike Allen in the chat. So happy to see you. Looking for more marvelous every week. Thank you, despite the old bonts. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Chuck, what's up, everybody from Southern Oregon? JB is in Poland, relaxing meditation. Eyup, Ricky and family, and all who are watching. Tim C, good afternoon, everyone. Maria is in the chat as well. Maria Muggs Davis, Wayne Johnson from Cowtown, Al Muentz, a big Eyup howdy to my fellow fretheads from Arizona. Good to have you here. Harsh Sonwan. I think I want to say Sonwan. He. Oh, you're here. You're either laughing. I'm up for a laugh. Shane Coyne, good morning all. It's morning there. It's 7 o'clock, isn't it? 7 p.m. here. Mary, Eyup, Ricky, I understand so much more because of your book. Great use of colour. Oh, thank you. Colour's all about the colour. You might not be able to see it, but right in the back corner here, an ill-forgotten painting easel. That's my big relaxing thing used to be. I don't have any time for it right now. I haven't had time for it for a while, and that is painting watercolor landscape paintings. See, so colors massive in my life, so it makes sense to put everything in color, because everything's black and white and grey and boring. We don't want that. We want plenty of colour. So we've got Three Dogs Brewery in the chat. Six String Greg in Arizona. Carter Hutchinson as well. Yes, warm and humid New Orleans today. Good to have you here. Sernang Eyup Fawaka. Irene S. Hi everyone from Petaluma, California. Sounds so nice there. Elizabeth Azud is in the chat as well. Brought your mom today as a first timer. Let's go, Paula! Yes, your mom is here as a first timer. We want it. That's good. That's what we want to see. Shauna. Oh, we got Shauna. Another one. Got my Mrs. Butterworth for the waffle. Put the clock on. So let's keep on scrolling down. Secret Gots, hi all, greetings from hot Germany. We still have 33 degrees outside. Ew, it's maftin. Maftin. That's what we say in Yorkshire when it's hot. Maftin. Yeah, so Kwame Lee, Indiana, tuned in with Wobbly Bob. That's what we want to hear. Just be careful with Wobbly Bob. Can he be trusted? We don't know. Randall Clark is here. Sorry he's late. Don't be sorry. I'm still doing the chat. The countdown thing is on as well. So there is that. We have Phil James saying, "What's this blooming PDF club then, lol?" There you go. PDF club. We know what PDF club is. So we got that up there. Richard Grissom, Eyup from rainy Jensen Beach, Florida. Oh, new guitar for oh, hang on, Richard. We're going to need to see this in the fretboard fraternity. I haven't been in today, in case you have posted it already, but I will be going in after the stream just to check in. And new guitar day, 2017 Martin. Ooh, GP28 sounds lovely. We need photographs of that in there as well. 91 freedom units in Bio County. I'm not sure what that means, Carter. But here's Ricky late again. I've lost them already. First time hit. Randall Clark, is it your first time? I'm sure I've seen your name. Hello, y'all. But I'll put that up and I'll give you a round of applause. There you go. You're looking ever so dashing and reclined in your profile photo. I dig that. We also have Ron Carrillo, Eyup. We've got Ken Guthrow. Hey, David Boy. Oh, he's talking to David Boy. Talking the locals, you see. They find each other. You can't go anywhere. The locals will find each other. We've got Marcel LeBlanc. It's 61% humidity in Longueuil in Quebec. Ooh, I don't know if that's good. That sounds quite sticky. So who else have we got? I'm scrolling down. So you're on a laptop. Let's have a look. TV. Sitting at my desk watching on a computer monitor desktop. Viewing on TV so I can see chatting on phone. There you go. Create Love Happy. It works, doesn't it? There's a lot of people, they cast it to the TV. And that's like, if that's the best way to watch it. Your hair is growing. It is growing. Yes. I'm glad. Otherwise it would be a fruitless pursuit. Robin says, always watching on a nice big TV. Off-grid greenhouse. Good eye, fret walkers. Washington State. Practice and figure it out equals growth. Pen, paper. I did a short about that this week. I put a little short video about pen and paper because it's like somebody had asked a question and I just thought I'll turn that into a short because that might be something that somebody needs to understand is sitting down with a pen and paper, working stuff out and practicing it. Make it intrinsic. That's the thing. Scuba Trooper's got me on multiple devices. I may have to move around the house and yard. Oh, that's good. That works. JB's on gas radio. Gas radio? Is that? I don't know what that means. ATX Vikings got me on a curved monitor. That sounds like very sci-fi. Saranang is on his phone at work, right? So there we go. Oh look, we've got John. Hey up, we haven't had John Fryle. Hey up, all lad. I'm gonna give him a now then, lad.
Now then, lad.
There we go. We've got that. Alan Mackey is in East Tennessee. Terry Lauder is in the chat. Hey Maestro, thank you very much. Lem Biggs has got me on IMAX. You don't need that, brother. Brother Lem. I'm guessing. I don't know actually if that's a male or a female name, but we'll go with. You tell me, Lem. I'm guessing here. I'm punting. Patrick watching his mobile, but off back to the room to use iPad. There you go. Watching on iPhone. No music ruins life. Yeah, was it Nietzsche that says life without music would be a mistake? So there you go. We have Bill T. Bionic Bill is in the chat. It would be funny ballerinas with no music. Women walking on their toes. Yes, indeed. Music is the soundtrack of life. It is, isn't it? It can take you back. A song can take you back to being a kid. You know, I was trying to teach, I was playing it to her on the radio, and it was Marty Robbins' El Paso. Does anybody know that one? You know, My Robbins' El Paso. It's a story in a song. It's a movie in a song. You know, it's like, what a fantastic thing. Nowadays, it's just like, can't tell what people are singing sometimes. Oh. Speaking of music, the ice cream man's outside. There we go. So let's keep on going. Iggy Whiskers, music was the first art. Yes, I think it definitely was. Can I have syrup with waffles, bacon crisp, please, too? Nancy Parsons, good to have you here, Nancy. Nice to see your name in the chat, as always. Dave, all right, watching the first time from Huddersfield. Dave, first timer, going to give you a round of applause, mate. Thank you very much. My hometown. So you will have no problem understanding what I'm saying. I hope. I imagine we speak the same lingo. Kevin Hall, Surfing Cranula. Hi all. Ross Rayner is in the chat. As well. Who else have we got? Guy Dupuy in first timer in Newfoundland, Canada. Hey, we'll give you a round of applause as well there, Guy. Thanks for coming along. Terry Lauder. Terry Lauder's from the Dumpster Fire, USA. Let's have a look. John Prenderville, artist coach, Eyup from Connecticut. Who else have we got in here? Bill T says, when changing chords, my issue is being consistent over the entire score without breaking the harmonic rhythm, i.e. difficult to keep the pattern consistent. That's something, okay, well, I can probably bake that into this as well. Graham Penfold says, just getting a drink. How are Comiskis and followers? We're wonderful. Thank you very much, Graham. Over here, Dan Lafferty, A at Rochester. We're getting towards the bottom now, guys, of the chat. Let's have a look who else we've got. Phil Swan's in the chat, bit windy in Hampshire. let's have a look. Phantom's in the chat as well. Ricky, it's all your fault. I'm drinking tea now. He said, look at that. He said chamomile tea with ginger and apple cider vinegar. That's not tea, mate. That's torture. Sounds like bloody torture. Hans and Elise, hello everyone. We have and 4th of July, the day America United became independent from England. Some also call it Independence Day, like the Will Smith. Oh yeah, so there were aliens then. Okay, I'm with you. So we've got this all going. The championship is the official name of Wimbledon tennis. Okay, there we go. All right, Bill Travis is tuning up. There we go. Parker Fly Rook, Eyup. Who else have we got in here? G-Man is in here from Denver. Gary Anderson from County Durham. And we have Colin Mead in the chat. Second time here. Loved your lesson last week, so back for some more. Good on you. Thank you for coming along. Joe Burnham. Yay, Athens, GA. Let's have a look. We're getting to the bottom here. Greetings from South Africa in... I want to say that as... Tichona? I hope that's the right way. That's a thing, you know. Bill says, how do you share the love of all your guitars when you have multiple guitars without the other ones getting jealous? They're all tuned to different things. You know, some have got thicker strings on, tuned to C standard. Some are in open tunings. And that sort of stuff. So it depends what kind of mood I'm in. But most of the time I spend I'm in sort of standard tuning. But I have been playing the old Strat a bit more lately, which is nice. Lawrence Sow is in London. Hey up everyone. Bit late, right? But guess with the intro still running, I guess no star jumps. You can do them just basically from a health and fitness perspective if you wish. Mario van Leuven is in Antwerp. We have 91 degrees Fahrenheit. Sounds hot, that. Sounds like boiling water. David Godley, loved last week, made total sense. That's what we want to hear. Major Pentatonic is in the chat. Nice to see you, buddy. We have RC Model Capers. Hello, Rookie. How are you doing? Michael here, originally from Bradford. Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. So, well, you'll understand the language, the accent as well. Phil Osborne signed up for lifetime PDF Club membership today. Thank you very much. Look, big round of applause. Thank you. I appreciate that. Supports the channel, supports the work here, pays the lights, pays the Wi-Fi so I can come on and keep on doing this. Lem Biggs. Lem is all man. I guess so. Hans Storsberg, love your lessons. Thank you very much, Hans. I appreciate that. Aramon 3048 is in the chat as well. And here we are. I'm getting to the bottom now here. We've got some stragglers. Dale Sam, hello folks, ready for Guitar Wisdom. We've got Thomas Ross next to Mallorca, off the coast of Spain. There we go. Iggy Whiskers is in the chat, coming from the ununited States of North America. Kwame Lee, welcome all, keep coming back. That's what we want. David Doty, a bit late, tripped over some Lego while my lights sim was on. Oh, look at that. Tripped over some Lego. Right, there you go. Oh, that's just like, that would just ruin my day completely. So there we go. We are through the chat now. Oh, we've got through the chat. Now, we're gonna... Oh, John Steer. Only 16 more members to reach PDF Club 500. That would be fantastic. Yes, it would, John Steers. Steer. Let's do this. Right, so that's the roll call. If you're ready for a class, then give that like button a big old wallop. It'll signal to YouTube that people are enjoying the chat, enjoying the waffle, but the lesson's about to start. Yeah, so we're going to crack on with that. So I will come back to the chat. I'm going to try and ignore the chat because what I want to do is I'll come back and I'll ask some questions and see. I'll just do like a temperature check and make sure that everybody is on the same page. Right, so I've got the overhead camera. Oop, I got a bit of a hiccup there. Oh, don't get hiccups. I've never had hiccups on a. I've said it now. Touch wood. I've got paper out here. I've never had hiccups on a live stream. Let's hope it isn't. So what we're going to do is we're going to start. I've got my paper, got my overhead camera, so I can switcheroo between this. I'm also going to be, like I say, playing stuff on the guitar. But really, what we're talking about today is we're going to look. I'd heard that, Maria, that the Menorca is a load of Balearics. That's an English pun. That was rubbish, but there you go. I'll carry on. I'll do my normal job. In this week's guitar class, what we're going to do is we're going to look at I kind of think of cadences as being musical punctuation. Yeah, so like musical full stops, commas. That's what we're looking at. So, but it's all like about this tension and release, and that's how we create this sort of like landscape of sound with the chords. And this is what chords are really all about, and what notes are all about for that matter. So really, it's always about this sort of tension idea. So what we're going to do is we're going to build this from the bottom up. I'm going to do good old C major because there's no sharps, no flats. Iggy Whiskers, there is no page for this one. There isn't. This is completely new stuff. This one. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at this. We're going to look at it in C major. Yeah, and like I say, cadence. It's like it's the movement from one chord to the other, and there are some formalized cadences that we need to know. When it comes to learning songs. Listening to songs, this is going to become really important when you're listening to songs and you go, well, what chord's that? Training your ear to be able to work out the songs. And this is what happens. You start to hear and you think, oh, that's chord 4 moving to chord 1 because it sounds a specific way. Or that's chord 1 moving to chord 5 or one of these sort of things. And you might be thinking to yourself, right, Ricky, what the hell are you talking about with chord 1 and chord 5? I have no idea about that. Well, that's what we're going to do today. I've got to do this in a couple of different ways, yes. I'm going to do it with standard notation. I'm going to use some standard notation, and I'm going to put the old banjo down here, and what we're going to do is we're going to look at how we build up a key first, because what we're doing is we're getting really into the naming of things, and you're going to hear a lot of this stuff as you go through your musical learning journey, and that's what we're going to try and get you familiar with. So really, it's kind of going to be a really good little music theory lesson, is this? But we were going to apply it to chords because we want to learn those common chord changes. Because if we learn the common chord changes, then it makes it easier to play the songs that we want to learn. Does that make sense? Okay, so. Right, let's look at this in standard notation. If you've ever seen standard notation, you'll be fine with this. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it in standard notation, and I'm going to do letters underneath as well. And I'm always going to keep on doing this and using the letters. So we've got it 2 ways to look at it. So let's look at this. So we've got a C here, C here. Okay, so we've got a C, we've got a D, we've got an E, we've got an F, we've got a G, we've got an A, we've got a B, and those are the 7 letters of the C major scale. So that's what we're doing here. We're working everything out in the C major scale. And I kind of think of the scale as being the raw ingredients for these chords that we're going to create. The triads we're going to create. But what I want to do is I want to show you, like I said, the notes and the cadences. So this is a C. That's the alphabet letter. That's what it looks like in standard notation. Now, guys, if you don't know what this means, don't worry. Just follow the letters, okay? Just follow the letters. It's just 2 different ways of labeling the same idea, okay? So we've got C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Now, I could write another C here. So we could have another C here, there, look. But that's really just the octave. So what this does is it gives us, you can see it gives us 7 different notes. So I'll just put that in a little bracket there to show that it's a repeat. And you can see that that's the first note, second note, third note, fourth note, fifth note, sixth note, and seventh note. Now the thing is, guys, look, if I turn that 1 into the root there by putting root, what you can see is you've got the scale formula for the C major scale there. Now hopefully that's wonderful, and I'm very much a big fan of this idea of adding having these here and writing your scale formulas and your chords out using the same system. Okay, and I'll explain that with the Roman numerals, because we're going to get into the Roman numerals as well. Okay, so these all basically mean the same thing here. So there's 3 things that we're looking at. So we're looking at the scale formula, we're looking at the alphabet letters, and we're looking at the standard notation. So there's 3 ways of interpreting the same information. Okay, so now what we do, right? What we do is basically we can jump over these notes. Okay, we can jump over these notes, and these are the ingredients for our triads. Because what we've got essentially here is we've got a key of C major. So, right, we've got to think to ourselves, well, what is a key? And a way to think about a key, okay, is that it's a family of notes that have a special relationship with each other. They all work together to make a specific sound. So what we need to do is we need to understand key. Most songs, and I'll say this because the thing is, a lot of the key stuff gets worked out using that people try to explain it in the cycle of fifths. Now I think the circle of fifths, the circle of fifths tends to be I think it's far too soon when you're trying to learn this stuff. Yeah, the circle of fifths is great for changing keys, but 97% of the songs you're going to learn, they stay in key. They might borrow chords from other keys, which is interesting, but the thing is you need to understand the keys. Now, what we've got is essentially, we're starting on C here, right? And that's just one note of 12. So we have 12 keys, okay? That's the way I see it. 12 major keys, and they have their own relative minors as well. But we're not going to get into the relative minors just now, right? But this hopefully explains it there. We've got the C major scale. And I'm doing this because I can see my ingredients and I can see how I'm going to use them. Now, like I say, what we do is we jump over in tertian movement, which means in 3s. It's like leapfrog. So if we take this ingredient, the C, and we jump over the D, we collect the E, okay? And then we jump over the F, we collect the G. And those are the 3 notes that we need to make up the chord C major chord, right? So let me just show you what that looks like in standard notation. So in standard notation, I would have this note, which would be the C here. Then I would have this note, which would be the E here. Then I would have this note, which is the G here. And that gives me a C triad. Now, notice how the note is called C and the triad is called C, okay? Because the root note comes from the scale of and that's how we name the chord. The root note is the note that gives the chord its name. Now you'll see something happens with this one. So if I go on the D here, I'm just going to go to this D note. If I do the same thing, the jumping over thing, yeah, then I find this a bit limiting. But what happens is, because the thing is, with it being linear, you know my approach with this. What I like to do is I like to show you something that I call the circle of thirds. I'm going to do the circle of thirds, guys, because I just think it makes sense to see it. Yeah, and then you're not jumping. You can jump over like this, but if you don't know what the notation is, then this is a simple way to help you to be able to see the notes and jump over them. So we're going to have this, and then hopefully that'll get me all the way around. So what we're going to do is we're going to have C, we're going to have cash. Every good band deserves fans and. So what we end up with is this jumping over. Instead of doing it linear, what we're going to do is we're going to do it as what I call the circle of thirds. I like my circles. They're really, really helpful. But what you can see is if I look at this C major chord here, I've got a C, I've got an E and a G. Look at that, C, E and G. So it spells them out for me. Yeah. Now what I can also do is I can apply a Roman numeral to that as well, which we're going to do. So I'm going to call this, look, remember this was number 1 before, wasn't it? So this is how the Roman numerals tie up with the scale degrees. So this is going to be a Roman numeral 1. Because this is major, yeah, I'm going to put these serifs on there to denote that it is a major sound. It's a major triad. Right, so I'm going to start on the D. Now, like I say, I could jump over D, F, A. But what I'll do is I'll just use my circle of thirds here. I'll go D, F, A. All right, I can see it's already there. D, F, A. Now, what I can do is I can check. I can go up here and go, is that the F? Yeah, that's the same spot. That's in the space on the bottom of the stave there. And then you can see that this is in a space. Oh, yeah, look, they're all in the same spot. Now, the thing about this is, yeah, this is a minor triad. And I'm going to, because it's on the 2nd degree, we're going to call it Roman numeral 2. But you can see that it isn't a serifed Roman numeral. It's got dots on it, which means it's lowercase. Now, if you think about it, if something is lowercase, it means it's less important. You know, you think about place names and people's names. They're always capitalized because that's an important way of looking at words. So we need to do the same thing here with our triads. So we've got a D minor here. We could jump over here and then you start to see the limits of the linear movement. So if we go from the E, we go E, G, B. Okay, so let me track that in. So that's my first note. I'm going to start on here. I go E, I go G, and then I go B just there. And that's going to give me my E minor triad. Now, the thing is, because it's minor, I'm going to do it, well, it's a 3, isn't it? So I'll just do that. And I know it's minor, so I'll do it as lowercase, okay? So that's what it looks like as a chord name. Yes, as a triad. And this is what it looks like in standard notation. Just like we have the notes of the C major scale there in standard notation, we have the labels for the notes as alphabet letters there. We have the numbers for the scale degrees there. We have a similar thing going on here. So we have Roman numbers for the chords, or you could even think of them as chord degrees. But I don't know if that makes full sense, but kind of it does. Yeah, but the triads go here. Let's look at this one, F. This is in the space here. Yes, because you might be used to doing face in the space and everything, but I think that this takes care of one mnemonic to rule them all. F, A, fans and cash. So I just use the mnemonic, fans and cash. And I know that this is going to be chord 4, and I know that this is going to be a major chord. There are reasons for that. I'm not getting into the why it's major or minor. I've done that in previous lessons about how the triads are constructed in their tonality. I just want you to understand this business here first. So we've got that going on there. We've got the G. Let's do the G. And I just use my mnemonic. Good band deserves. G, B, D. So look, here's where it gets tricky. G, B. Hang on, I'd need to write it out, and then it's like I've run out of space and all that sort of stuff. So this is where the circle comes in. Very useful. G, B, D. Okay, so let's have that there. Now that tallies up with this 5th degree here. That 5th degree is the root note of chord 5, which is major. Okay, so we can see we've got this major triad here. And that's why I've put serifs on, because it's uppercase. Let's look at this one here now. So we're going to have A. We're going to have, let's go around it. A, C, E. Okay, let's do it. A, C, E. In standard notation there. But we know that this is going to be, and I know this is going to be a chord starting on an A. I know it's an A minor. Yes, here. And what we're going to do is we're going to borrow that 6 off there and we're going to turn it into a Roman numeral. But because it's minor, we're going to put it like that. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Now here's the one, everybody's favourite guest at the party. It's Wobbly Bob. we're going to have wobbly bob there. Wobbly bob consists of a B, a D, and an F. So let's put those on the stave as well. We've got a B, we've got a D, and we've got an F just there. And like I say, B for bob. Now this is a strange chord. This is the only one that does this. Okay, this is chord 7 in the major key, is always diminished. Okay, it's always diminished. That's a whole topic in and of itself of what diminished is. We're not going to get into that here because what we're doing is we're looking at bigger structures. We're not drilling down into the anatomy of the chords or the triads themselves. So there's chord, and now you can see I've written that as 7 there, yeah, but there's something missing because I need to have a way of representing this diminished here. And I do use this little degree sign there, okay? So look at that. We could do that there. And the thing with this is because it's got a minor third, that's why I think it's written in lowercase. Right, so hopefully what I've done is I've just worked out the chords in the key of C major there, their names, their Roman numerals, what they look like on standard notation. Okay, we've got all that there. Now, funny thing is, Marcel says major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, and then we get that diminished in there, and you will see this. Now, I'm here, so I might as well do this while I'm at it. If we look at chords 1, 4, and 5, what you'll find is those 3 chords. If you look at them, just say the names of the chords out to yourself, mutter it under your breath. Yeah, C, F, G. Hang on, that's minor, that's minor, that's minor, and that's that diminished. Okay, so chords 1, 4, and 5. We're noticing things that are going on here. Okay, the 1, 4, and 5. These are called the primary triads. Okay, this is the technical name for those there. They're going to get into some more technical names as well, but we've got the primary triads. Look, that's because they're the most important ones. That will become obvious when we start doing we start doing the cadential changes and the cadences. You can also see, hopefully, that 2, 3, and 6 here. Okay, these bad boys, 2, 3, and 6. Well, if these are my primary triads, 1, 4, and 5, then the minors are going to be my secondary triads. Okay, and then what we've got left over, straggling behind, yeah, is chord 7. Yeah, it's called we call it the leading note chord. Okay, so that's what we're going to look at. That boys, poor old wobbly Bob. You know, why is he wobbly? That's probably why he's diminished. You know, he's not all there. He's not. I'm glad he's a diminished chord. I can say what I want about him, but hopefully you can see what's going on there, guys. Let me put some colours on this. Just going to put some colours on just so that you can see what I'm tying in here. Yeah, so there is my primary triads. So it's 1, 4, and 5. Let's bang that on there. Minors are sad. So let's bang those on there. 1. Hang on, let me just make that a little bit better. That's it. And we've got 1. So we've got 2, 3, and 6. Right. Wobbly Bob's been on the G and T, and he's still sucking a lemon from that old cocktail that he's put together out of all the bits and bobs that he's found in a cupboard that you'd forgotten were there from Christmas. Right, so there we go. So we can look at that from this way, but hopefully, guys, you can see there's a direct correlation between the scale degree and the triad in the key. Okay, now this is one level of naming these chords, these triads. Okay, what we can also do is now we've discovered these, we can look at these, and I want to show you this because I think that this is kind of a bit. I don't know if it's. is it weird? Is it freaky? I don't know. It's a bit special, and it's like it tells me it's like, and the way that it blows my mind is this is one key. If I do this in one key, I'm going to do it in C major, yeah. But remember, there's 12 keys, and if we go through the 12 keys using tetrachords, I've done a lesson on tetrachords. It's on the channel. But if we go through from C major, we can get back round to C major, going through the cycle of fifths using tetrachords. That's the way I think of the cycle of fifths, is using tetrachords. We can get all the way around. And if we do that using this pattern, you'll see that it almost forms like this 12 key toroid DNA structure. This is the way I see it. Maybe I'm losing my marbles or something. But when I think about it, this is the way I see it. I see the way I see all 12 keys, and I just see this toroid shape. And hopefully it'll make sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these Roman numerals, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the names of these, the proper, like, technical names of them. So if you hear this, then if somebody says to you, oh yeah, the tonic or the dominant or any of that stuff, you're going to go, oh yeah, I know what he's on about. So here we've got chord 1, which we knew, we've figured out here is major, okay? Chord 2, chord 3, chord 4, chord 5, chord 6, chord 7, and I'm actually going to put chord 1 up here again, yeah, because that's going to come in important. Now, the first chord is called the tonic. Now, I think that makes sense because it's the tone that defines the key, okay? It's the tone, so it's the tonic. It's nothing to do with gin. As much as you can, you try and wish it is, it's nothing to do with gin. Yeah, so that's called the tonic. Now, if you think about it, if you think about like like Superman, for instance, yeah. If you think about Superman, he's more than an ordinary man. So it's more than. Now, if you think about it, by moving up to the next degree here, what we get is we get something called the supertonic. Okay, so this is the name for this one here. Okay, so we've got that supertonic. Now the next chord we get, I'm going to miss this one for now because I want to jump straight ahead to chord 5 because I want to show you something. Right, now if you look 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, what we kind of got is we've got, this is the furthest away, is this one here, chord 5. Okay, when it comes to creating tension and release, chord 5, it has a name. It's called the dominant, and I'm just going to put dom in there because that's what it means. It means dominant because it bullies the key. Really, it really, if you want to do stuff with your chords here, yeah, the dominant is the most amenable because it's the most dissonant. When I say it's the chord with the most tension. Yes, if you can alter the dominant, you can make it keep it diatonic within the key. But there's things you can do to this chord that are amazing. This is why this chord is like, it's kind of the center of the key. And this is why when we look at how cadences are formed, it also informs me of how the names come about. So chord 5, what it always wants to do, because it's the most tense chord and with the most dissonance, it always wants to go to chord 1. Yeah, that's it. That's where it wants to go. That's what it wants to do, right? It always wants to go to chord 1. And this is something that happens. So you can see that it goes 5. So we go down 1, 2, 3, 4. So, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We go down 5 chords. Now, here's the thing. For years, I thought to myself, this one is called the subdominant, right? Now, subdominant, you might think to yourself, is that because it's less? It makes sense because supertonic is one more. Super is more, sub is less. But the thing that I remember watching some Bernstein thing or other like that, and it basically was, if we go from the 4 chord 2, 3, 4, 5. Basically, what you can see is we get this. It's trying to get back to 1 there, in that means there. It creates a different kind of tension, okay? But that's the reason it's called the subdominant, is because it's 5 chords away, 5 triads away from the tonic that is above, okay? Hopefully this makes sense. So we've got a tonic there, we've got a tonic there, but it's still going to move in that same way. And then what ends up happening is we end up with this kind of idea here. I like this, like that. That's the center of what can become the new key. This is really how tetrachords work. I'm not getting into tetrachords, but this would make sense then how all these other chords come about. Now I said that chord 7, what we do is we call it the leading note chord. Yeah, that's what it's called, the leading note chord, because that wants to lead you back to the tonic. If you think about do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Yeah, ti, do. Okay? So that's what we're kind of thinking there. But when it comes to the naming protocol here, and this is what's going to make sense here. If I look at chord 3, what happens is we get the mediant. Right, now the mediant is the middle, okay? And if we think about it, 1 to 5, that's the range that we have. Yeah, we have 5 chords there, and in the middle we get the 3 chord. Yeah, so really that's in between that. Okay, so we get this little structure that forms there, that the 5 wants to go to the 1, but we also get this median in the middle. And then what happens is chord 6 is called the submediant. Now the thing is, if it was the submediant, you might think to yourself, hang on, the supertonic should be the submediant, but it isn't, because it's all about this movement here from chord 1 to the subdominant. It's a dominant below the upper tonic. This is the upper tonic, this is the lower tonic. Okay, so in between that, what happens is we get this submediant. I hope I've got you all. You're all with me on this one, guys. But the thing is, all we really need to do is to understand and learn the names. I just think that pattern, that little helix thing that goes on there with the dominants to the tonics and the mediants and on either side, it's like that's what connects all the keys, and it creates, like I say, does this make sense? Does it make sense to you that you could see it like that as a vortex? Right? So, but that makes sense of why these things are called. That's not the subdominant because it's below the dominant. It's the subdominant because it's the dominant from the upper tonic, and this is the submediant because this is it's below the upper tonic as well. Okay, so look, in between the upper tonic and the subdominant, we get the submediant. And that makes sense. Hopefully it's the midway point. That's the middle. Okay, right. There are other ways we can name these chords as well. Now, let's have a look. Let's see what we've got for questions. And I'll just go through some of the questions here. And I did see something there. Rocket said, why not write the chord names in upper lowercase, example D minor? Do you know something? I did that for the longest time. And I was a stickler for it. And in all my old notes, you'll find that I do write things in lowercase. But I think the thing that makes it really, really hard is word processors. Because if you start something off and it says D minor, the word processor wants to automatically capitalize every first letter of your sentence. So the thing is, it's like you're battling that, and it just slows you down as you're trying to write things out. So, I mean, there's no hard and fast rule. I mean, I should really stick to it, but I don't think we're kind of splitting hairs with that idea there. But you could do, you know. Another way to think about it would be that if you have the uppercase root note, then It's like you're thinking about it from the scale instead, okay? Because you would do that. But it's an interesting way. It's kind of like how some people write the names of the strings, E, A, D, G, B, E, and they do the E, the thin E string in lowercase to show it's the thinner one. Which kind of makes sense to me. So there's that. Okay, let's have a look. And David Doty's put, the numbers aren't just numbers, they represent the interval naming of root major second. Yeah, they can do. So aka major Ionian scale. Yeah, you can think of it in that way as well. Scrolling down through here. Full power, the world descends into Locrian forever with the power of mind bullets. The tonic should never be dominant. No, not in a good G&T. Never. So let's have a look. Let's see if there's any other questions in here as well. Supersonic. Yes. Soul Sonic Force. Supersonic. Let's have a look. What have we got? It's a lot like a wave. Yes. That's the thing, and it's this sonic wave, and it makes sense that it would be a wave because it's music, it's sound. Do you know? It's sound. So yes, a wave, and it's just like Ricky explains it beautifully. Oh, it's all the same. It's all the same in his videos. Yes. So when you know the notes to sing, you can sing most anything. Do, re, mi. Yeah, well, that's your major scale. Okay, if you didn't know. Oh, Chimpner1, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Wonderful. Okay, I'll carry on. So hopefully that makes sense to everybody. But the thing is, what we can also do, and I'm going to talk about some rules. I forgot which film it is. There's the line that goes, "The rules are there ain't no rules." And I love that because music is like that. Because what happens is in learning theory that you find out, you go, all right, okay, so those are the rules. And you go, yeah, until that happens. And then that rule, it changes. And then you've got another rule. It's like, it's always about rules. The rules are so sketchy because the thing is, some people, you know, they don't have any idea about music theory. They're just using their ear. Like, I always tend to think Kurt Cobain about Nirvana, you know, he just went for what sounded good to his ear and you know, and worked. And that's what we can kind of get into that sort of territory there. But look, what I want to do is I want to split this down even more. So we're going to split it down even more and have a look at other ways of understanding this stuff as well. So let's go down here. Now I know that I've called this the tonic, supertonic, mediant, subdominant, dominant, submediant, and leading note chord. But what we can also do is we can split these down by function, okay? So we've got functions as well. So let me just scroll down a little bit here. And I kind of think of these functions as being, we can divide all these chords now into 3 classes, yeah? So it's almost like you can summarize the sound of these chords, because what we're doing essentially when we're creating tension or we're releasing, yes, there's 3 things that kind of happen. A tonic sound, like I say, if you think about it, the tonic is chord 1. I said it was chord 1, yeah? And if we run up the scale, we said do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. You can hear that if I just went up to the leading note, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Can you feel the tension of wanting to resolve to that note? Are you singing that in your head? Do, because you need to finish that sound. So what we have is we essentially have 3 types of sound. Now, what happens is tonic sounds, they stabilize. They're very stable, okay? So that's what they do. They're stable and they release, okay? They feel like you are home. That's what we're going to do. We're going to think about this in this way, okay? And I'll show you how this works. So we've got the tonic, okay, and then once we go from the tonic, we've got to go somewhere else. Yeah, we're going to go somewhere else. And really, like I explained it, it's like a movie that we're creating with music. We need to get to the cliffhanger, to the climax, and that's where the dominant lives, okay? That's where the most tension is, okay? That's where the tension lives there, guys. It lives on that. That's because it's the furthest away from the chord 1. This subdominant is the furthest away from the chord, the upper tonic. So what happens is we get something called the subdominant class, okay? So if we look at the subdominant class, I think of this as being, it's moving, it's going somewhere. Yeah, it's going somewhere. If I can write that all out there, it's traveling, it's en route, and it's kind of moving us towards something that is going to happen. So we've got the tonic, we've got the subdominant, and then what happens is we get the dominant, which is our tension sound, okay? So we get the dominant there, okay? This creates the tension, all right? This is the drama. And this is why the dominant is, the chord 5 is so magnificent, is because you can put notes from outside the key in there with it, and it creates all sorts of clashes. And that's the best place to put them. And this chord here is the secret to outside playing in jazz. Yeah, this is where, when you hear chords and you think to yourself, you're listening to jazz. Mrs. Ricky absolutely hates it. I listen to all sorts of jazz stuff, and she says, "Oh God, I'm glad you stopped listening to that. Can you turn it off?" And I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, well, you know, I could do, but I was just listening to that. So that's what we've got there. That's what's going on with these here. So we can classify these here. We've got all that tension because you can add those extra notes into it, guys. That's what it is. Okay. So and oh, that's great. When I think play songs now, I always think of the chord numbers. Brilliant, because once you know the chord numbers, you can transpose. That's the beautiful thing about guitar, because it's all about, it's a transpositional instrument. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. We've got this tension thing going on here, and we can look at that, and we can look at the chords. But what I'm going to do is actually, I'm going to write down your common sort of chord moves that you can do. Okay, so your common chord moves, and these are generally the rules of moving between your chords. Oh, hang on, I've knocked my screen a little bit there. Hang on, my wire. You can still hear me, but you can't see me. There we go, we're back. Just gotta be careful. I've got a wire here. We've got a wire. Tell you what, I'll just do it this way, and then we can see it. Okay, and then hopefully we can see it all together. Oh, look at that, beautiful. That's a thing, isn't it? That's a thing. My little OCD is just like okay on that. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the chords, and we're going to look at these chords, and we're going to look at some rules between with these chords as well. And I'm going to tell you what kind of tension, what kind of class they are. Yeah, well, out of the 3 classes that we can have, what class of triad are we getting? So let's look at this. So I'm going to go chord 1. Now we're going to put these rules to this. Okay, and you can think about this. This is where it comes into your chord changes. So I would do these chord changes. So this is what we're looking at. Now, as I go through these, there's going to be some weak chord changes and there's going to be strong chord changes. I'll tell you. So basically the 1 chord can go to any chord. Okay, so the 1 chord, because it's the tonic, it makes sense that it can go to any chord. So the 1 chord can go to any chord. And if I was to, let me just demonstrate that on the old guitar. Let me just switch over. Okay, so if I'm in the key of C, which I am here on the guitar, because the guitar is an instrument in C, the way I see it. So I can go from chord 1 to chord 2, which was D minor. I could go from chord 1 to E minor, which is chord 3. I can go from chord 1, which is the C, to chord 4. And go from chord 4, and that's chord 4 is the it's the F chord there. And then I can go from chord C, the C chord, chord 1, to chord G, chord 5, G. Okay, so we can go there. I can go from the C to the A minor. And these all work, guys. You can hear. I can go from the C chord to even. I'm going to play it as a minor 7 flat 5. You can hear that it creates a bit more tension, but there's a reason for that. And you can hear that that's the home chord. But if you go from any of those chords from that diminished, and you can really hear the leading note chord there that's happening, yeah? So that's T, Do, yes? You can hear that note as it goes up there. T, Do. Hopefully you can hear that, okay? So that's the way we can look at that. Now, like I say, chord 1 can go to any chord, but what we've got to do is we've got to go systematically through all of the chords, and then we switch to the next one, is chord 2. Now chord 2, the 2 chord, which is the D minor in C major, it prefers to move, it likes to go to chord 5, all right, and it likes to go to, and I'd say chord 4, right? Those are strong sounding chords. If we went to chord 1, that chord 1 is weak. It's a weak change. Yeah, so you'll find that some of these changes are stronger and some of them are weaker. Let me just play that for you. So we've got D minor. Can you hear how that wants to connect there? 2, 5, okay? And I'm avoiding the temptation to go to the 1 because that's where the 5 wants to go to. Now hopefully you can hear this tension between the chords, or the release between the chords, the movement. Okay, so we've got this 2. Okay. To the 5 there. D minor to F. Not as strong as going to the 5. Okay. But, you know. But if I went from D minor to C. There's a reason that sounds a little bit weaker. There's a stronger way to play that. Don't worry, no worries, Marcel. We'll see you in the next one on the replay. Okay, so that's the way I think about it. But what we need to do is we need to tie in this relationship here between these 3 classes. Now we know the 1 chord is a tonic chord, so I'm just going to put that there. I'm going to do it in bold there like that. That's the tonic. That is a tonic. Now, what class is the 2 chord? We have to have a class for the 2 chord. And the 2 chord is a subdominant, right? As part of the class. So you can switch between these. So really, this is a going somewhere chord. That's what we can think of it as. It's en route to some other chord. And that's what we're looking at here, guys. So we're doing that thing there. Oh, thank you, Terry. Appreciate that. I'll put that on there. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that, Terry. Wonderful. Thank you very much. I super duper appreciate it. I hope you're enjoying the lesson. But there we go. So this is the subdominant. This is one of those 3 classes. Like I said to you, we've got tonic, subdominant, and dominant. We're creating those there. Right, now the 3 chord. Let's look at the 3 chord as well. The 3 chord, I kind of think of this as being a weak. It's a weak chord, but it can be strong. It's really, really weird. What this wants to do is move to a 6 chord. Now, like I say, and like the caveat I'm putting in here, these are basically the rules of rules of harmonic chord changes, and they're kind of like chess moves. Okay. So this is what we're doing. Yes, Kevin says 5, 1, and 4. Now it all makes sense. Yeah, look, 5, 1, and 4. They're your primary triads. They're gonna be really strong sounding chords. And if you do a 1, 4, 5, you know, you look at all the rock and roll 1, 4, and 5. You've got a starting chord, a going somewhere chord, and a ending up somewhere chord to create some tension. That means you need to go back to your one chord that gives it that release. This is the whole. It's pretty much how it's all works, guys. This is the game that we have to play and try and figure it all out. So the 3 chord. Let's get back to this 3 chord. Right, it wants to go to the 6 here. Now, what I'll say is, and I'm putting in these weak chords as well. Right, we think of, because of the 3 chord being a kind of a weaker chord, we're going to think of that as being a tonic. Yeah, so it belongs in the tonic class. Yeah, out of those. So, you know, if you're struggling, you want to write a song and you think to yourself, I don't want to go to the 1 chord, you could go to the tonic chord. Yes, a tonic class chord. The 3, it will suffice. It'll do the job. But you see, if we go to the 1 after, or the 7 and 7, those guys are weak sounds as well, right? So the thing is, what I'm saying is going from 2 to the 5, 3 to the 6. Yeah, the 3 to the 6. Well, in the key of C major, we go 3. Right, I'll take you there. We go C, 1, D minor, 2. E minor is the 3. Okay, right. So we need to know where the 6 is. There's the 3. We've got the 4, which is F. The G is 5, and A minor is 6. Okay, so that's what we're doing. Is we're going from the E minor. They're kind of almost like they're not. There's not much tension being created at all there, is there? You could end there and it would be okay, and that's why it's a kind of a more of a tonic sound. But if I went from to the 3, or even worse, to the 7, then it's and they're not the best ones. So, but I would be saying to myself, okay, how do I turn that into chord changes? I'd be thinking chord 2 to 5 and 4. So I'll be thinking changing from D minor and practicing those changes. It's going to come up all the time. So focusing on the things that things that you need to play the songs. Yeah, so just doing that. Now 3 chord. E minor to A minor. You're going to come across that change so much, yeah? Because that's the standard sort of maneuver for the 3 chord, yeah? Like I say, the 1 chord and the 7 chord, they're a bit weak, but that's almost gives you a tonic class sounding chord. Now, the 4 chord. Right, so the 4 chord, it likes to move to 1. It likes to move to 5, and it likes to move to 6. Okay, so it's going to move to the 6 there. So it basically can move to any chord, pretty much, but these are the ones that you want to practice the change. So that's going to be an F to a C, F to a G, F to an A minor. Let's just play those. Let's just look through those chords there, okay? If you look in here and you're thinking, well, how's he getting his name of his chords? Just scoot your eyes over here and have a look, okay? So let's just let's have a look at this. So we're going to have an F to a 1. Now that's a cadence, but I'm going to come back to that one. But let me go from an F to a G. Okay? We're traveling. Can you hear it? It needs to go somewhere else. Generally to the 1. Yeah. If I go from the F to the A minor, okay? The F to the A minor there, you can hear. And then, can you hear how it works? It wants to go back there. Kevin knows that one. Kevin knows that one. Now that is, now I kind of think of this as being the true subdominant, because like I said before, when we looked at this business here, sub, dom, I'll put that there. All right, okay, make it nice and big. So we've got the subdominant there. Now, like I said, the 5 chord. The 5 chord, which is the most wonderful chord, I think, because of how much you can do with it. The 5 chord, yeah, moves. It wants to move to 1, which we've kind of already heard, from here, up here. It wants to move to 1. It wants to move to 4. And it will move to 6. So it's kind of like this. These two are basically do similar things. And that ties me into this middle of this little vortex. Okay? Ties me in there. But this is where it gets a bit different, because we could look at that and think of that, even though that is the chord 4 is the subdominant. When we're thinking about it, how it interacts with the 5, I might be thinking to myself, I think I can do dominant style things with that one. So here is the dominant. These are the dominants just here. So you can see you've got that family there. So chord 5 to chord 1. You'll hear this, guys. You'll hear the changes. So we're going to go 5. That is a cadence. Yeah, I'm going to get to the cadences. I'm going to explain the cadences and their names. Okay. No, I'll do that. I'll do that afterwards. I just had a tangent in my mind. Remind me, tangent. Right? So if I go from the 5, which is this G, to the F, yeah, the G. Can you hear the tension in that? Is that the heart? That's the heart melting moment, where something is happening there on that 5 chord to the 6 chord. There is tension moving between those two. Okay. So we've got this, and then we've got 5 to 1 there. Okay, so that's the family that we have there. Now we're going to have chord 6, which is the 7 chord, moves to, the 6 chord, likes to go to 5, likes 4, and it also likes 2. But what we're going to look at, this is that it's a tonic class chord. Okay, out of those 3 classes, we've got a tonic class. And let me play that. So we're going to have A minor. Just look over here if you're in any doubt of what chord it is. Yeah, we'll put that up there. Scoot that up a little bit there. So we're going to have A minor. Let's play through this. Tonic, it should sound fairly relaxed, okay? Because it's a tonic sound, okay? Not much tension there at all, is there? So you can hear that from the 6, going from the A minor to the 4 chord. Stable. Yeah, and going from the A minor to the D minor. And they sound so close to each other, do the 4 and the 2. Listen. So close to each other because of the notes that they share. Okay? Because now you know why, Iggy Whiskers. This is it. This is why. Now, we can't leave without addressing Wobbly Bob. Remember what I said about Wobbly Bob? Wobbly Bob, really, the way I see Wobbly Bob is it wants to go to 1. It wants to go to 1 because the 7 chord is a dominant class sound. That's what we want to think about it. Yeah, and this is why it creates that tension, chord 7 to chord 1. So it's almost like, you know, you can switch these out as well. So if you think about it, 5-1, chord 7, resolving. Okay, so it's got this resolving feeling to it. There's your chord 7 to chord 1. Okay. Yeah, so really it gives you that movement, and that's the way we want to look at it, guys. Now, there are other ways that we can practice this, and I often hear people say, practice your chords. Yes, practice your chords using the circle of fifths. But the circle of fifths, if you follow the circle of fifths, then what it does is it takes you through all 12 keys. But really, you really want to master practicing all the chords in one key first. Okay, keep to a key. So if I come here, and I'll draw this on here, and I'm going to show you. This is what the thumbnail was all about, guys. Yeah. So now you understand what's going on. Hopefully you'll understand what's going on here. So I'm going to do this. This is for all keys. This is for all keys, guys. Yeah, so we've got chord 1. This is the magic number. Now, I know the magic number, I usually say it as 6, 2, 5, 1, 4, 7, 3. Okay, which is what the thumbnail is all about. But what we're going to do is we're going to put it on here like this. And when you play through this, you will hear the next chord that you might be after if you are writing a song. Okay, but this goes round like this. So we're going to do that. We're going to do 3. I'm trying to do my neatest handwriting. We go to 6. Goes there. Then we get to 2. Then we get 5. And then we get 1. So we've got another circle. And this is basically we're going round in the key. Okay, so we're going round in the key. This is a great way to do this. And this is something that you should. Oh, hang on, lost my screen for a minute. It'll come back. Give it a minute to think. This is something that you need to practice. So if I go here, I'm going to play through these, and you're going to watch, and I'll tell you the names of the chords. So go chord 1, chord 4, chord 7, chord 3, chord 6, chord 2, chord 5, chord 1. Can you hear that? You hear how those work? Takes me all the way back round. So this is a great little exercise for practicing changing your chords. Now you could do it using the grid. You could do it using the grid, because the grid is transposable. I was just showing you that there in the key of C. Say we wanted it in the key of G. Chord 1, chord 4, yes, chord 7. I'm going to put it down here, and I'm going to put chord 3 here. Yeah, it's a bit cumbersome, that shift there. We could have had it there. We could have chord 6 here. We're going to have chord 2 here. We're going to have chord 5 here. And we're going to have chord 1 here. Chord 1, chord 4, chord 5, chord 2, chord 3, chord 6. Chord 7's there, or it's there. Okay? So and that's in the book. The L7 grid is in the book. Okay? So this is a really good exercise. You go do this, and you if you practice this in all 12 keys, yeah, then you will conquer your chord changes. Okay, you could do this. Now notice I've not added any pitch from here. I've just left it as Roman numerals. Yeah, but what we can do as well is if you wanted to, you can think to yourself, okay, well that's a tonic, This is subdominant. 7 is a dominant. Right, we've got 3, which is a tonic. We've got 6, which is a tonic sound. We've got 2, which is a subdominant. We've got 5, which is a dominant sound. So you can see that you've got all these sounds, and you can think to yourself, well, look, if I want to create some drama, I'll start on a C and I go to a subdominant. You know, you don't always have to go through the 7. You can switch around. You can go think to yourself, I don't want that dominant. Let's use that dominant instead. So I'll go 1, 4, 5. Cool. Okay, where am I going to go after the dominant? Right, then really that wants to go to a tonic, but I don't want to go to chord 1. Let's go to A minor, or let's go to E minor. We could think about it in that way as well. So it's a cool little tool to help you to write your chord progressions. Okay. If I play the tonic below, well, the thing is with the guitar, that's a theoretical thing, Phil. If I play the 7 chord below, the interesting thing comes back to the word cadence. Like I say, to fall. Yeah. Now, I mean, I have done in my life fallen up the stairs, but generally, you know, I think I've probably fallen down the stairs more than I've fallen up the stairs. So cadence means to fall down. Okay. So if we think about the 7 chord, let me play that using the L7 grid. Yeah. So I've got my 7 chord here. I'm in the key of G. Can you hear that the sound itself, it falls, so you go ba, ba, and the movement goes down. However, if I come from the 7 chord below the tonic, it's not as strong. Can you hear that it's not as strong? Does it make sense? It still works. You've still got the T, Do, yeah? Yeah, that's what we're listening for. Sing it right, Ricky. It's a bit below my range, but hopefully that makes sense. So the idea of this thing is this idea of cadence, which brings me neatly onto the next part of what we're talking about today. So I'm going to take this over here, and we're going to look at the main cadences that we have for our chord changes. So these changes here, these changes are great because you're going to come across them, but there are some changes that are more important than others, and these are the ones that we're going to look at, and these are the main cadences. So that's what we're looking at, the main cadences, yeah, that we're going to tackle today. I've got 2 different chats going on here, so we're looking at the main cadence, the important ones, yeah? And these are, and we're thinking about it, music's a language. Oh, yeah, so music's a language, and what we have is we have punctuation, yeah? We need to be able to pull that idea of punctuation into it. So one of the most important things for creating coherent musical sentences is to have musical full stops. Hopefully that makes sense. So these are the 2 main full stops. Yeah. So the main. So, you guys call them periods, I think, in America. Is it still the same thing as the UK? We call them full stops. Yeah. So at the end of a sentence, you put dot, period. Yes. As far as I understand, that's what it's called in America. Or do you still call them full stops? That would be useful to know. So chord 5 to 1. Okay, this is the most important one because this is the one that you play that you will find at the end of the song, and this is one of those things that you can think to yourself, you know, what key is a song in? You go, what key is the song in? If you look at the last 2 chords of a song, then generally you'll find that you go from chord 5 to chord 1 if it's in the major key. you'll find that that's what happens. And that last chord will tell you what key you're in. It's generally going to find it that this one chord will be your first chord in a song, okay? So we do that, okay? So that's the one. And if it's got that 5 to the 1, and it sounds like this, kind of, for me, this is called it's called a perfect cadence. For me, this is it's the good night Wembley sort of thing. So you know, it's that. Good night Wembley, you've been marvellous. Yes, that thing there. That is called a perfect cadence, okay? It's called a perfect cadence. Yeah, so you do call it period. Okay. So let me write that in there. Let me just boom, put that in there. Perfect cadence. Okay? So that's the finale, if you want to think about it. It's the finale cadence, and I think that's a good way of looking at it. The next one we want to look at is called 4 to chord 1. And Kev mentioned this. This is called the plagal cadence. Now, the plagal cadence, as soon as I got explained this at music college, it made so much sense to me, because it's like, back in the day, I were a choir boy. I was a choir boy with the frilly white ruffs and everything. Okay, it's the Amen cadence, yes? Yeah, so you hear going from the F to the C, yeah, which is chord 4 to chord 1. Amen. Amen. Wonderful cadence is that, yes? Okay. Bit of a tangent, actually. One that I really like, and it's borrowed. It ends up being borrowed from the harmonic minor, and we can do something called a plagal minor cadence. And all you do is, instead of playing a major, you change it to a minor to go to the 1. So it's a plagal minor cadence. So if you hear that, that's a big, massive indicator. I think McFly, who knows the band McFly, if you've ever heard McFly songs, all their songs do that. They always seem to have this minor plagal cadence here. So I'm going to put that in there because it's a little bit of something, a little bit of a tangent, but it's really because what we're doing is we're borrowing from the harmonic minor. But look at the spelling of the 4. Lowercase to 1. We call that a plagal minor plagal cadence. I've got the words wrong now. They're sounding a bit wrong in my ears. But this one is the Amen. So this one, and I call this the McFly. I just think McFly. Yeah. Amen is 4-1. Yes. Amen is 4-1. But if we switch it to a minor 4, then we get a minor plagal cadence, okay? We can think about it that way. Right. Now, what we have, let me get my little notes so I keep on track here. But it's still got a full stop sound as that chord 4 to chord 1. You know, you could very much use it at the end of a song if you want to do that thing. So those are my full stops. Now, I think of these as does comma. You guys still use? Is it still commas in the States? If a full stop is a period, what's a comma? Yeah, that. Is it still the same thing? Comma. Now, what happens is with commas, it's basically what we end up with is we're not really going to the 1 chord. So what we could do is we can go, and I think these are called imperfect. So we've got the imperfect cadence, and basically it tends to be chord 1 to 5. Okay. But this is where the rules get a bit sketchy, because the thing is, you can have an authentic imperfect, or you can have a half close. There's different still commas. All right, that's good to know. So what we're doing is we're thinking is and this is almost like taking advantage of that sort of traveling of going somewhere and creating that tension there. So I'm just going to put this there as being imperfect, and I think there's a different way to call it, or half close. Yeah, half close. What I could do is I could even go to 4 on that as well. Yeah, so this is like I say where the rules get a little bit kind of bit sketchy. 1 to 5. 1 to 5. Yeah, it usually occurs in the middle of your chord progression and not at the end. Yeah, because if you did it at the end, yeah, if we did it at the end of our chord progression, so say I went, so I was going from A minor to F, then I went to C to G. It doesn't sound finished, does it? You can see that. If I finish the song on that, where do we go? It needs to go back to the tonic. Yeah, so we can think about it in that context. Now, there's one more left really that we want to think about, and this is the interrupted. Right, we're going from the 5 chord to any chord other than 1. So this is the one, and the name of this is interrupted. But I think in the States you guys call it deceptive, right? So this is a deceptive cadence, right? So it's like you're kind of like almost saying, okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go right. So we're on the G. We're in this. If I do this C to F to G, and it feels like I'm going to go to the 1, but I don't. I go to any other chord apart from the 1 chord. Any other chord, and that's going to give me that. Can you hear? It's deceptive. You know, it's like, because I was like, oh, you know where it's going to go now? It's going to go to the C. No, it isn't. It's going to go to any other chord apart from the 1 chord. Yeah. So that's the trick that we get with that one, and that's a good one, right? Maybe worth mentioning as well is I think I'll just put this on as well because I like the sound of this one, and this is where we get this. We take the 1 chord, and then you get this you get this looks like a fraction at the side of it. And what this 6/4 means is it means second inversion. Okay, so it means second inversion. And then what we could do is we can get something called a cadential 6/4 cadence. And basically what that wants to do is that wants to go to 5 and then 1. Right? So it basically does a similar thing as interrupting, but it's like just before you get to the 5, instead of using something that might be on this, like see here 2 to 5 to 1, what we could do is we could put a second inversion, a cadential 6/4. Hang on, let me call this a cadential 6/4, right? So we go like this. So what we get is, let me just get there, right? So we got like this. Here's the C. Let's play it in second inversion by putting the 5th in the bass here. So C/G. So there is the 1 chord in a 6/4 second inversion. But what it does, what ends up happening is the lowest sounding note is the root from chord 5. So listen. So we get that common tone in the bass that joins them together. it's about the spacing of the notes. Okay, Sean says rip rolled chord change. Yeah, absolutely. I love that one. So look. Now I'm playing a simple G. I did this the other week in the acoustic chords. Yeah. So, but when I land on that one chord, we're home, and that's the way that all works there, guys. Okay. So this has been a little tour through cadences, and also just going to help you, like I say, to show you which chord changes are going to be the most important to you. Okay, you write out your key, you figure out your key, and then you could use this one here. Okay, no, Shauna, 6/4 is to do with the spacing between the notes. Yeah, it's inversions. It's when you invert the notes. Okay, we're into standard notation with that. I don't think it'd be. I don't know. I don't want to confuse the situation. That's a lesson in and of itself. That would probably be something that we could do with just doing it separately and doing it a bit more service. This is what I've planned for today. We're 1 hour 48 in here, guys. Okay, so go through your keys. You can do it in open chords. You can do this in bar chords. Use your L7 grid. Okay. And just to hang on, let me just hang on. Just gonna clarify that. I just need to clarify that one because I need you to know. And like I said, this is the L7 grid here. You remember 1, 4, 5, 2, 3, 6. There's the grid, right? And just like I did with the colours here, yeah, I've got 1, 4, and 5. These are going to be my major primary triads. There's my primary triads there, guys. Boom. 1, 4, and 5. Primary triads. Okay, this is what I was on about. And there we go. 2, 3, and 6 there. Yeah, that's the L7 grid. That's what I call the L7 grid. Because it's got the chords there. Now, if you want to, hang on, let me just be a bit liberal with this chord box here. I hope you don't mind that it's scruffy. I'll try my best to keep it neat. But if I go here, and I go here, then what I get is chord 7. Wobbly bob goes there. And if I go underneath here, I get chord 7. Wobbly bob here to show you where that is. Chord 7, chord 7. Okay. So now it's like, hopefully that's just tying all that theory and applying it and seeing where it lives on the guitar. But because you know what each of these chords do, yes, because you know they have a specific function of creating stability, movement to somewhere else, or a tension sound, then you can make your way through all this, guys. Now, this is something else. Yeah, this is amazing as this little diagram here, because this one tallies in with the Battle Ends and Down Goes Charles's Father video. And a lot of people, they miss the big picture. Yeah, like I say, if you think of the guitar in the key of C major and just stick to the naturals, ignore the sharps, ignore the flats, yes, look, and you'll see it. Yeah, get a pen, get some paper, it's a pencil, sorry, colours. Yeah, sit with your fretboard diagram thing. Yes, If you do want this handout is for PDF Club members. Phil, where are you? Where are you, my friend? Right, where are you? You've got to usually say thing. What's PDF Club? This will be going up in PDF Club. All these notes. Yes, all these notes to follow along with will be up in PDF Club. Oh, thank you, Jason. I hope you found it interesting. Loads tonight from the standard notation chords through to cadences. Thank you. Appreciate that. It makes it all worthwhile. I hope that it has helped you to kind of figure out what's going on when one chord changes to another and what we're actually manipulating. Yeah, it can be very understanding the theory side of things. It's like it may seem very disconnected from what we're doing, but it is absolutely connected. And hopefully I've done my best to explain to you how chords work and rub against each other, how they work together. Okay, that's what we're looking at. But also, and I'll drill this in, guys. When you know which chords are going to be working together all the time, yeah, you need to focus on those chords and break them down into two chords. Play one chord, then play the other. Play one chord, then the other. Play one chord, then the other. Do it for 3 to 5 minutes and you'll nail your chord changes. But the thing is, what's more important is it's like you'll have an understanding why the chord changes work, because you're helping your ear. And in practicing those chord changes, what will happen is your ear will go, oh, hang on, that's from that song. Oh, that's from that song. Oh, let me just sit down, see if I can work this song out. And you sit down and you go, oh, it's that and that. And you go, all right, that makes sense. You can think about it and you can go, is this resolved? Is it going somewhere? Or is it tension? Is it creating tension? And if you can split things down into those 3 classes, yes, then you know of tonic, subdominant, or dominant sounds. Then what you can do is you can really start to train your ear to work these things out. And in fact, the challenge is when you listening to some music, just listening to some music, I want you to think about that and don't be passive with the music. Now, I should put a caveat in there. I was once at a point where I couldn't listen to music and absolutely deeply enjoy it because I was too busy analysing it and thinking to myself, oh, that's that, and pulling it to bits and trying to make it all make sense. Okay, so there is that caveat. I don't want you to go there. I ended up having to work my way through it, and I came out the other side, and it's just like, you just let go and enjoy the music. Oh, thank you, Graham. I super appreciate that. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, it'll keep the lights on for another week. So that's what I'm saying here, guys. Right. Okay. There is so much application to understanding this. It's just gonna make it all a different level. I see why you wanted to throw your guitar away when it came to learning theory, Ricky. And to think you're simplifying. This guy is the goat. Thank you. Right. So that's what we've done today. Right. The PDF's in PDF, going to be in PDF Club. I'll scan that and might do some other things. Oh, thank you, Chris. Thanks for all the great music theory instruction and learning. Because thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Let me just move that there. Get rid of that there. Don't turn into Rick Beato. I can't be Rick Beato. There's only one Rick Beato and there's only one Ricky Comiskey, and I can only be me, can't I? And the thing is, if I try and be somebody else, it's not going to happen. I'm too long in the too stubborn. Yeah, just know it and don't overthink it. Yes. Set this live as a tab on your home every time you end a session. Repeat, and that makes it. What a great tip, Dem. You know, what a great tip, mate. The electric isn't that cheap. Fretboard fraternity, capo, mate. Fretboard fraternity. It's a free community for you guys. More than welcome. It'd be great to see you in there, and share new guitar days, all that sort of stuff. Okay. So we'll see you in there, and I should just give it a punt. The old book. There's 80 lessons in one book there. It's all the same sort of stuff. Like I say, the Wednesday class that I do here, it's all lessons from that. But today is all about bringing some new content to you, some new interesting stuff that I've been meaning to do for a while, but like I say, it's going to end up being probably being another book. Michael Davis is an ex-chorister. I can now relate my singing to playing and selecting the right chord changes. That's it. That's the one. You could just simplify, but know why you're doing something. Oh, thank you, Ingo. Crikey. There you go. Thank you, Ingo. I appreciate that immensely. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you've all enjoyed it. I'm gonna go before I get embarrassed. You guys, I just want to remind you, like I do at the end of every session. Yeah, and I'm gonna put my little outro on. There's no music on the outro, but I'm just gonna put that there. It just means I can put a video over the top of it at the end. I'm just gonna remind you again every week. I know it sounds the same thing, boring. What he's telling me that you're playing guitar for yourself. You are playing for yourself. This is your mission. You don't play guitar for anybody else. You don't play it, especially at my age. You don't play it for the chicks. So you're playing it for yourself. Yeah. I suppose you could technically become a rock star later on in life. Look at Ron Sexsmith. Yeah, I love Ron Sexsmith. His songs are just amazing. I really like that. He did an album called Late Bloomer, I think it was, and he got signed quite late. So who am I to say this? Who am I to say? You never know. And you can release your own music. And if you have music in your heart, then you need to. Al, thank you very much. I was going to get off before you guys embarrassed me with another donation. Oh, thank you very much. It really means a lot. It really does. So thank you. Thank you very much, Al. They ain't listening anymore, though. Look, I'm gonna, like I say, I'm telling you, keep talking, you could be rich. Well, I suppose it could be. Guys, I'm gonna call it a day, and I'll see you in next week's lesson. I will think about how I can tie this maybe into something else, because we do have minor cadences and we do have modal cadences. It might be part of something else, and I put it all together in some form or other. And then you have an idea of where all these cadences are. Thank you, Martha. Thank you very, very much. I super appreciate that. And I'm blown away, guys. I really am. Feeling quite emotional. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I'm going to go now. I'm going to go. Right. So look. Get the practice in. Oh, David, thank you. David, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Wow. What a do. It's weird, is this, I'm just talking about stuff I'm passionate and I love on YouTube. That's it's it's like, this is stuff that rattles around my head all day, every day. So it's like, guys, I really appreciate the kind and generous donations. It means a lot. And I will definitely, I'm going to go before somebody else donates. Let's. Oh no, I don't want to finish that one there. I'm going to hit the outro, and there we go. Much love to you guys. Look after yourself. Look after each other, and I'll see you at next week's lesson. Take care. Bye bye.